Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to 365 Days of Love and Miracles with A Course in Miracles. My name is Arlene Garris, and I am so glad that you are here. Please remember to listen right until the very end, because we have a special treat for you. And if you enjoyed today's video, please click like and subscribe down below, because this helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is lesson number 153. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Let's talk about this a little bit. Any time that we perceive that we are being attacked for any reason, sometimes it can just be a look. Sometimes it can be someone cutting us off in traffic. Sometimes it can be what someone does or says, and we feel that we are under attack. The automatic response of the ego is to go into defense. Once we go into defense, we are caught up in the attack-defense cycle. It's a no-win situation, my friends. This lesson is going to tell us that when we choose not to go into defenselessness, that's where we're going to experience God's peace, joy, and happiness. Let's read today's lesson. You who feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune and its bitter jests, its brief relationships and all the gifts it merely lends to take away again, attend this lesson. The world provides no safety. It is rooted in attack, and all its gifts of seeming safety are illusory deceptions. It attacks and then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens us. Let's talk about it. We know very well that all of the things of this world will eventually pass away. We may lose our job. We may lose our financial security. We may lose our homes. We may lose our health. We may lose those that we love. These are all the things of the world. They are illusory. They will all fade away in time. So let's not put our security there. We can only put our security in God. Let's keep reading. The world gives rise but to defensiveness, for threat brings anger. Anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked, and righteous in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat, for it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are the weak still further undermined, for there is treachery without, and still a greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. Let's talk about it. We all know at some level that these things that we have put our security in could be lost at any time. This awareness brings a level of anger, and the anger brings the defensiveness. We feel like we have to protect these things. We need to hold on tight to our relationships. We need to lock our windows and bar our doors to keep the bad guys. I'm not saying that you should swing your doors open and invite the whole world into your house. We are simply being asked to be aware when we are holding on too tightly to the things of this world. Let's keep reading. It's as if a circle held it fast, wherein another circle bound it and another in that, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack becomes the circles of the hours and the days that bind our mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of imprisonment upon the mind. Let's talk about it. Here we have these circles upon circles, and we're stuck in the middle of all of these circles. These circles are like iron bands that are holding us tight, preventing us from escaping from the world of the ego and being able to hold all things loosely so that we can be in true peace, joy, and happiness, which is the world of God's love. Let's keep reading. Defenses are the costliest of all the prices which the ego would exact. In them lies madness in a form so grim that hope of sanity seems but to be an idle dream beyond the possible. The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea of all the devastation it has wrought. You are its slave. You know not what you do in fear of it. You do not understand how much you have been made to sacrifice, who feel its iron grip upon your heart. You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. For you behold the Son of God as but a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions he has made, yet helpless in their presence, needless only of defense by still more fantasies and dreams, by which illusions of his safety comfort him. Let's talk about it. When we're little children, we come into this world and we are completely defenseless. We are unable to take care of ourselves. We have to depend on our parents or other adults to take care of us, to feed us, to clothe us, to change our diapers, and so on. We cannot take care of ourselves, and we are completely defenseless. And then life starts to happen to us. Our culture tries to shape us into being what the culture wants us to be. I believe that this is all done with good intent, but the result of that is we start to layer up with mud. These defenses are meant to help us to survive what is often a very difficult childhood. But as adults, we can look back on all of those defenses. We don't need to protect our hearts anymore. We can take off those layers of mud. We can allow the love that is deep inside of every single one of us to burst forth. We can allow ourselves to be completely free. And we can let go of the defenses and live in perfect joy, peace, and happiness. Let's keep reading. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the text maintains that choice is always made between Christ's strength and your own weakness, seen apart from him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes strength so great, attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. Let's talk about it. If we are in God, if we are in our higher power, if we are in our higher self, our strength is so mighty that we have no need to go into defense. Does that make sense, my friends? God is our superpower. Like Superman. We just need to be like Lois Lane, hold on tight around his neck. We can relax. We do not need to go into defense. Let's keep reading. Defensiveness is weakness. It proclaims you have denied the Christ and come to fear his Father's anger. What can save you now from your delusion of an angry God whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world? What but illusions could defend you now when it is but illusions that you fight? We will not play such childish games today, for our true purpose is to save the world, and we would not exchange the foolishness, the endless joy our function offers us. We would not let our happiness slip by because a fragment of a senseless dream happened to cross our minds, and we mistook the figures in it for the Son of God. Its tiny instant for eternity. Let's talk about it. In the world of the ego, we all know at some level that there is a mighty God. When I was young, I truly believed in a fearful God. I believe that God has seen all of the bad things that I had done throughout my entire life and was just waiting to bring the hammer down on my head. This is what I got out of traditional religion. I was afraid of that God. The Course tells us that this is not who God is. This is an illusion. This is a made-up God. God is only perfect love. God does not see any of our mistakes. God only sees every single one of us as his beautiful, beloved child. We will not play such childish games today. Any time that you start to believe that you need to protect yourself, go into defense, stop yourself and say, I'm not going to play this childish game today. I'm going to accept that God's strength will take care of me. God's power will take care of me. I am mighty as long as I am connected to my source, to my Creator. Let's keep reading. We look past dreams today and recognize that we need no defense because we were created unassailable without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Now we cannot fear, for we have left all fearful thoughts behind, and in defenselessness we stand secure, serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation, sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose as our ministry extends its holy blessing through the world. Be still a moment and in silence think how holy is your purpose, how secure you rest, untouchable within its light. God's ministers have chosen that the truth be with them. Who is holier than they? Who could be sure that this happiness is fully guaranteed? And who could be more mightily protected? What defense could possibly be needed by the ones who are among the chosen ones of God, by His election and their own as well? Let's talk about it. The world of the ego is like this curtain that stands between us and all of reality. And woven into that curtain are all of the stories that we've been told since we were very young about a fearful God, about how we are bad and we have to work hard in order to be accepted. This curtain has all of this woven into its fabric. In this lesson, we are asked to look beyond the curtain. It's as simple as parting the curtain in the middle and going, oh, there's heaven, there's God, there is my eternal peace, joy, and happiness. It's as simple as that, my friends. We can literally leave the world of the ego behind. And we do that by being still. We want to take our practice time seriously. Remember, A Course in Miracles is 5% information and 95% perspiration. The practice is where the gold is. So let's take our meditation time. Be still a moment and in silence think how holy is your purpose, how secure you rest, untouchable within its light. We are God's ministers. We are God's secret agents here on this earth, and we cannot share God's love if we don't stop and fill up our own love tank by taking the time in meditation. Let's keep reading. It is the function of God's ministers to help their brothers choose as they have done. God has elected all, but few have come to realize His will is but their own. And while you fail to teach what you have learned, salvation waits and darkness holds the world in grim imprisonment. Nor will you learn that light has come to you and your escape has been accomplished. For you will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. As they take it from your hands, so will you recognize it as your own. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. It was designed by one who loves his children and who would replace their fearful toys with joyous games, which teach them that the game of fear is gone. His game instructs in happiness because there is no loser. Everyone who plays must win, and in his winning is the gain to everyone ensured. The game of fear is gladly laid aside when children come to see the benefits salvation brings. Let's talk about it. This makes me think of the Olympic Games relays, in which a torch of light is started at one end. That light is God, my friends. The first runner carries that torch to the next runner, who lights his torch from that original Olympic flame and carries the torch to the next person, who lights his torch from that original flame. This is exactly what we do when we abide in the mind of God, when we take our meditation time. Our torch is lit up, and thus we can pass the flame on to the next person, and so on, all around the world. Isn't that awesome? I love that we are asked to think of this as a happy game. I love the idea of remembering that I am God's secret agent. I don't need to tell anyone. But when I am practicing this happy game, I am filled with so much joy and fun and laughter and delight. It's a wonderful way to live, my friends. I'm so glad that you have joined me on this journey. Let's keep reading. You who have played that you are lost to hope, abandoned by your Father, left alone in terror, in a fearful world made mad by sin and guilt, be happy now. The game is over. Now a quiet time has come in which we put away the toys of guilt and lock our quaint and childish thoughts of sin forever from the pure and holy minds of heaven's children and the Son of God. We pause but for a moment more to play our final happy game upon this earth, and then we go to take our rightful place where truth abides and games are meaningless. So as the story ended, let this day bring the last chapter closer to the world, that everyone may learn the tale he reads of terrifying destiny, defeat of all his hopes, his pitiful defense against a vengeance he cannot escape is but his own deluded fantasy. God's ministers have come to waken him from the dark dreams this story has evoked in this confused, bewildered memory of this distorted tale. God's Son can smile at last on learning that it is not true. Oh, I love the language in A Course in Miracles when we sit in meditation. We simply let go of all of our guilt, all of our shame, all of our grievances towards ourselves and others, and we allow ourselves to come close to the throne of God. We are God's secret agents. We have come to help others to wake up from their dark dreams of misery and pain. Are you willing to do that, my friends? It is God's assignment for every single one of us. Let's finish the reading. We practice in a form we will maintain for quite a while. We will begin each day by giving our attention to the daily thought as long as possible. 5 minutes now becomes the least we give to preparation for a day in which salvation is the only goal we have. 10 would be better, 15 better still. And as distraction ceases to arise to turn us from our purpose, we will find that half an hour is too short a time to spend with God, nor will we willingly give less at night in gratitude and joy. Each hour adds to our increasing peace as we remember to be faithful to the will we share with God. At times, perhaps a minute, even less, will be the most that we can offer as the hour strikes. Sometimes we will forget. At other times, the business of the world will close on us, and we will be unable to withdraw a little while and turn our thoughts to God. Yet when we can, we will observe our trust as ministers of God in hourly remembrance of our mission and His love, and we will quietly sit by and wait on Him and listen to His voice and learn what He would have us do the hour that is yet to come, while thanking Him for all the gifts He gave us in the one gone by. In time, with practice, you will never cease to think of Him and hear His loving voice guiding your footsteps into quiet ways where you will walk in true defenselessness, for you will know that heaven goes with you, nor would you keep your mind away from Him a moment, even though your time is spent in offering salvation to the world. Think you He will not make this possible for you who choose to carry out His plan for the salvation of the world and yours? Today, our theme is our defenselessness. We clothe ourselves in it as we prepare to meet the day. We rise up strong in Christ and let our weakness disappear as we remember that His strength abides in us. We will remind ourselves that He remains beside us through the day and never leaves our weakness unsupported by His strength. We call upon His strength each time we feel the threat of our defenses undermine our certainty of purpose. We will pause a moment as He tells us, I am here. Your practicing now will begin to take the earnestness of love to help you keep your mind from wandering from its intent. Be not afraid nor timid. There can be no doubt that you will reach your final goal. The ministers of God can never fail because the love and strength and peace that shine from them to all their brothers come from Him. These are His gifts to you. Defenselessness is all you need to give Him in return. You lay aside but what was never real to look on Christ and see His sinlessness. Wow, what a powerful lesson, my friends. And once more, the practice sessions are underlined here as being the core of the course. We can take all of the information that A Course in Miracles offers us, but if we don't take the time to practice, nothing is going to change. We will find ourselves continually being drawn back to the ego. We'll find ourselves caught up in the defense attack cycle, and we will not be able to experience God's eternal peace, joy, and happiness. This lesson is a turning point in which we are not instructed of any specific time for our practice periods. It is recommended that we take as long as we like, with a minimum of 5 minutes. 10 minutes is even better, and a half hour often will not be enough. Let's give ourselves fully to our practice periods today and every day. I love how this section reminds us to continue with our hourly practice sessions, but not to get all caught up if we are unable to keep to that hourly practice schedule. Life does sometimes interfere with our hourly practice sessions. However, we are asked to keep this idea in mind all through the day. And in fact, we will reach a stage where we are always thinking about our Creator and how we are one with God and all of creation. Our practicing now will begin to take on the earnestness of love to keep our mind from wandering from its intent. The more we do these practices, the easier it gets. The same as working out at the gym. We only get stronger in our spiritual walk when we take the time to truly do the work. Thanks so much for listening right until the end, my friends. If you enjoyed today's video, please share the love. Tell someone about these lessons. Encourage them to start at lesson 1 and only do 1 lesson a day. Are you ready for our special treat? My defenselessness, my safety lies. Have a day of trusting in God's power and God's strength, my friends. We no longer need to defend ourselves. God's got it all under control. I love you.